What's up, everybody? It's Mr. Mark from Stratford Gear Up, and I am here with one of my very good friends, Scotty Davidson, who's the coach at Cumberland University for their women's soccer team, who happens to be playing in the national tournament here tomorrow. They're playing Truett McConnell, so good luck to them for that. But we're just going to ask them some questions. But here's Scotty. Just wanted to introduce you and, you know.
Sounds good.
All right, so we'll just get right into it. So first question is, what characteristics are you looking for from a player on and off the field?
Yeah, and I mean, this is pretty standard across the board when we're recruiting. So obviously talent is a big factor into what we look for being, top 20 team in the country. But outside of that, character is something that we look for, over all else. We're looking for people who are hardworking. We're looking for people who are honest, trustworthy, and, are overall good people that can come in and fit into a good culture. And that's something that we work on, every day from the first day of preseason to the last day of school before we go home for the summer, is just creating that environment of trust and support. And everybody plays their part in that. And that's something that, is a non-negotiable for us. We won't look for talent over character. We look for a combination of both. And then obviously on top of that, somebody who is very good academically also helps us as well. We look at that, basically that trifecta of academics, character, and talent, and not one overrides any other two. They have to be good at all three.
Yeah, I love those. Is there any way a potential player can get on your radar for those things? Like, are there things that they put on their CV or their resume, or is there something like, is it extracurriculars or is it just getting to know them?
Again, it's a bit of everything. The main thing is being able to see them obviously in person. So anytime we get a schedule with basically a brief resume, some references that we can call and check up on right away, that definitely helps us. We try and be as active as possible. Now, obviously, with the whole COVID situation, it's made that a lot more difficult moving, through the recruitment process. Now, a lot of the things that we rely on is all digital. So video footage, full game footage, and a lot of teams have things like that. They use tools like VO where they video the games and, they can break things down into highlight videos. So basically, highlight video, number one, to kind of get our attention, a lot of information. And then, the kind of next step is the initial communication. And then we're looking for full game video if we can't get out and see somebody in person.
So is that how a player would get on your radar first, is sending you a video, or are you doing a little bit of both? Like, you are identify players before, or is it a little bit of, you get a highlight video, and then you go, all right, I kind of like what's going on here. And then,
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously we're active, when we get out and we recruit as much as possible. America is a massive country, and we recruit internationally as well. So we can't get everywhere. We have a specific budget for recruiting. So we specifically use that when we identify tournaments, identify teams, identify players, and we'll identify players, a year or 2 years in advance. And we'll get out and we'll kind of follow them through the recruitment process and the last couple of years development through high school and club. So yeah, I mean, that's the kind of main thing. Obviously, like I said, we don't have the budget to go everywhere and anywhere. So video footage is massive. Highlight videos is the first one. And I would say that's probably the most important thing. And a lot of student athletes, don't understand the value of self-promoting and putting themselves out there. And that's what we're looking for. We can't see everybody in America, so we're looking for you guys to advocate for yourselves Put yourselves out there, create a good highlight video that will catch your attention. So not a long highlight video. I mean, it's 3 minutes max. And then we'll communicate there. We'll reach out, we'll have an initial conversation from there, and then we'll look for full game video, or we'll look to set up an opportunity where we can get out there and actually see people in person.
Gotcha. All right. So now that we're starting to get identified, how can players keep in contact with the coach?
So, and like I say, this is all on the player, and this is one of the characteristics that we look for. Is somebody who is assertive, somebody who is confident, somebody who, if this is what they want, they're going to push for what they want. And that's something that we talk about, on the field and academically as well. You don't settle, to be average, and, people are not going to give you everything without working for it. So, that's something that's massive for me, is that somebody that's going to constantly check in with me, after the initial email, and we start kind of emailing back and forward. We'll set up a phone conversation. So anybody that we're actively speaking to will have my direct cell phone number. They'll have the assistant coaches' cell phone numbers. They'll have their email addresses. They'll be connected to our social medias. So, we see how active people are, and it's kind of up to yourself. We get extremely busy through season. We get extremely busy through the recruiting process. Even in the off season, we're developing plans for the following season, and we're working on strength and conditioning work. So, as coaches, it's difficult to keep up with everybody. So somebody that's kind of active, constantly just checking in from time to time, constantly looking for the next step, and showing that they're very interested in the program, and the school is massive for us. We don't have time, throughout the year, to actively chase everybody. So we need it's a little bit of give and take, and we need to know that people are interested, and they want to come to the school, and they want to play for the program. And then the process from there is easy, because after you start building a relationship and speaking more, it becomes more of a coach-player relationship, even though you're not actively on the team yet.
Awesome. So now we have identified them. We're starting the talks and everything. How big of a role does academics play?
So in academics is massive. It is the most important thing. We want to be successful as a soccer program. And like I said, we try and prepare people for life after college, and academically, our goal is to make sure you get the best education you can possibly get from Cumberland University. So we're looking for you to graduate in 4 years. We're looking to have, consistently have a high GPA. For example, our team GPA, I think right now is a 3.6 between 30 players. So on average, we expect excellence in the classroom as well. Now, in terms of recruiting, that plays a big factor into it as well. You have to be eligible, number one, to be accepted into the school. So for example, I think we're looking for a 19 ACT score initially. Obviously there's some wiggle room there, and some things that we can do to kind of advocate for specific players and people, where we can put them on probation if they don't meet their standards. But there's goals and standards set for the freshman year that they have to meet, and they have to hold up their end of the bargain if we're going to advocate for them as well. So initially, academics plays a big part on getting accepted to the school, but then in terms of being eligible to play soccer in the NAI at the NAIA level, you have to have an average 2.0 GPA. Like SAT score, I believe right now is 960. Or the third one, you have to be ranked in the top 50% of your class in terms of GPA. So 2 out of the 3 you must meet to even be eligible to play soccer. So we can't take just anybody. Academics is massively important to be able to play college soccer. And if you don't meet the requirements, you won't get to play college soccer across the board. So yeah, it's massive.
So it doesn't just stop once they get on campus, because right, you got to maintain getting a certain amount of credits even once you're on campus, right? Like to be eligible for your sophomore year, you got to hit certain levels of credits awarded from your freshman year. So it doesn't just stop, it just keeps moving.
Yeah, it's constantly. And so I mean, every year, and just to kind of put some numbers on that, we're looking to, or for the NAIA, you have to pass 24 credit hours for the previous 2 semesters. Sorry. So 24 hours is minimum. You have to maintain a 2.0. So if you drop below a 2.0, you're ineligible. And then even for our school, for example, if you miss 10 classes a semester, you're ineligible for the next year. So going to class, passing classes, the accountability level is massive there. We're lucky enough that we have a great program in place at Cumberland University where we monitor our student athletes on a weekly basis. For example, if somebody misses class on my team on a Tuesday, on Friday, I'll get an update and I'll know that they missed class. So that's just something that we do personally. And we'll check on everybody. If you fail a quiz, I know by that next Friday when I get the weekly update. So we'll sit down and we'll have a chat on why that happened. If you're struggling in the class, we'll set you up in a program where we'll get you help and support to make sure that you don't fall behind and you continue to maintain that minimum 2.0. But for us, for our team, we do 3.0. You have to maintain a 3.0 average. So yeah, I mean, it's very, very important. And like I said, it's the most important thing within our Cumberland University women's soccer program is for you to get a good education and graduate in 4 years.
Yeah. If a student excels coming in, does it make the recruiting process easier or harder? Like, can you give them more in terms of academics, and then you may match that with your athletic and then possibly be going to school for free? What does that look like?
Yeah, and I mean, it's, obviously we don't have all the money in the world that we can just give from a soccer program and athletic scholarship perspective. But, we have a good budget, and, everybody that comes, we try and give something to in terms of athletically. Now, we can stack, but Cumberland is, it's a high academic school to where coming in to get academic money, I would say, I think 21 ACT is a minimum where you can get a little bit of money. 24 is the next level ACT score. 27 is where you're covering about 16,000 academically. And then 30 or above, that's where we cover full tuition. And basically from there, anything above 30, you come to school for free if you're on the soccer program.
Nice. So once the players are identified and you're looking like you're going to make them an offer, and you've looked and they can get into the school, what does the process look like after that?
Yeah, so I mean, initially, obviously, we talk about either identifying players in person or receiving highlight videos and then starting the communication process. Then from there, we look to get people on campus, official visit, we'll set them up with a tour, we'll set them down with admissions where they'll talk about the academic side of things. And then on the same visit, we look to have them practice with our women's soccer program. So they get a little bit of everything. We'll communicate and sit down after that. See what they thought, see if we want to move forward in the process. We'll give them a breakdown of our evaluation as a player, and then the talks will kind of continue from there. It's basically we'll put everything back on the player, we'll make an offer, and personally we don't give any specific time frames, but we're actively looking to recruit. So the one thing I will say is, even though we don't put time frames on the offers, we may have 2 or 3 offers out and we're only looking for one player. So, time management and understanding that time frame is important. And we know that people go and they have to visit other schools and do their due diligence on making sure that they see different opportunities. But, we're looking to solidify our roster and start planning for the next season as quickly as possible. So, time's important as well.
Awesome. So lastly, are there any other tips that you have for potential student athletes?
Yeah, I mean, I would say number one is always advocate for yourself, always be confident, even if it's not something that comes to you naturally. It's important for the coach to communicate with the player. So a lot of the times, the parents will have a conversation with you, and that's great. We want to get to know the family, we want to know the parents, we want to answer their questions as well. But we want to know what the player's all about. Like I said, we want to check their character. We want to see if they're going to be a good fit for our team. So being confident, pushing yourself outside your comfort zone in terms of communicating with the coach is very, very important, because we want to know our players inside and out, and see exactly where they're going to fit in, what we need to work on, what they're going to bring to the team, what their weaknesses are that we need to strengthen. So that's going to be massive. So continue to push, advocate for yourself, put yourself out there, even if it's not comfortable for you, but always build that relationship. And then number two is making sure you have a good highlight video. So even if you're identified in person or you're continuing to be looked at in person, it's still important to make a good highlight video. Choose a good song. So, I mean, for example, if I hear a song that has a bunch of cuss words at the beginning, I might not watch that video. I mean, I'm looking for people that, have good values, good morals, somebody that's going to come in and continue to highlight the program in a positive way. So music's important, and then obviously about a 3-minute clip, so you don't need to overdo it. And I would say the first 2 clips of your highlight video have to be attention grabbers. So it can't just be an average clip where you say, that was pretty good, and we'll build to, my best clip. Put your best clip in there first and make sure that you try and grab their attention right away.
Yeah. I mean, you got to think coach's time is valuable, right? You don't have a lot of time today. So if we're waiting 15 minutes for the best clip of the day,
Yep. No, put yourself there right away, grab that attention. And sometimes that's all it takes. I might look at a 3-minute video and say, okay, I've got a minute and a half here before I got to get out here for practice. So I want to see what you've got. Don't wait till the very end to show, the best goal you've ever scored.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Well, thank you for your time. I won't keep you any longer, and good luck tomorrow, and go Cumberland.
All right, let's go. Go Phoenix.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Bye.